Hi everyone, welcome back to my Gear Hall of Shame series. Today we're looking at Gabriella, one of my personal favorite heroes. She's an incredibly powerful hero, one that does damage based on her resistance. That's quite unique. So far, there's only one other hero that does damage based on resistance, which is Sagittarius, but he's a sniper. So if we look at her gear, we can see that I've gone with 6 pieces of protector gear. Each piece is part of a 2-piece set. So each 2-piece set gives a bonus of 30 resistance. 6 pieces, that's going to give 3 times 30. So that's going to be plus 90% resistance. If we look at her main stats, the stats that I really care about for Gabriella are resistance, CR, and CD. That's because, again, she does damage based on her resistance to all enemies. The 100% CR is important for doing consistent crit damage against red, blue, yellow, purple, and astral enemies. You won't get it with the green heroes with only 100%. But for me, that's more than enough. If you do want to do CD against green enemies, then you're going to want to push her crit rate up to 115. For her resistance and her CD, you can see I've kind of gone for almost an equal number in both 221 res and 204 CD. It's really important to get a good balance so that you can push both as high as possible. And roughly equal numbers, I think, is a fair way to do it. The other stats that I care a little bit about are HP and defense. So we want her to be reasonably tanky to absorb a little bit of damage. And the opportunity to build HP or defense really comes in just the substats, the awakening, but you can also pick an HP or defense boot, as I'll show you later. So as for the other stats, attack, speed, accuracy, and mana gain, I really don't care about those. So she is going to be a slow hero. She's not going to do much in the way of tile damage apart from her crit damage. She doesn't have anything to do with her accuracy. When she inflicts decreased accuracy on all enemies, that doesn't go through accuracy and resistance. You can see that there's no wording around 100% chance. So she is going to do her thing without needing any accuracy. And also her mana gain is a little bit low, but you're going to see that being boosted if you actually max out her passive ability. You'll see that I haven't equipped a relic on her so far, but there are lots of possibilities. So for example, Golden Cyclone, Blade of Agony, Overload, Hero's Fury are all possibilities. You could also just give the regular rare resistance relic. That is going to be okay as well. I still find that Gabriella does an incredible amount of damage even without the relic. So she is definitely one of the best heroes in the game. I feel she's the benchmark AOE hero. I think if you haven't got her, it is worth wishlisting her. She is incredibly powerful. And once you play around with her and you've built her, you'll see why. So let's look at her individual gear pieces. And this is actually a hero I'm pretty happy with. So I'm expecting good things of this gear. I see that these are all 6-star gear, so I really tried to build her very well. This first piece is an epic piece, and right away we see 2 rolls in CR, 1 roll on res, a CD substat, and also some flat HP. This is a really good piece of gear because of the high CR and the relevant substats in CD and res. If it was going to be absolutely perfect, I would have liked to see HP % or defense %. But all in all, really nice piece of gear. Second piece of gear, also very nice. This is a legendary piece, and it's got 1 roll on defense % and 3 rolls on CD, which means that this piece is really good for a damage dealing hero who also needs resistance as well. Basically, it has Gabriella's name on it. And the only criticism I have of this piece of gear is I don't really need the two lower substats, the speed and the accuracy. So I would have liked to have seen resistance or HP percent or even CR in there, and that would have made it even better. For the third piece, this is the shield. I'm seeing one roll on CR and one roll on CD. So far, so good. The other two substats let this down a bit, so I don't really need the one roll on speed. The HP flat is also a little bit of a letdown because I'd rather see, again, res, HP percent, or defense percent. Fourth piece of gear, these are CD gloves. I always love to see CD gloves on a hero that does damage, and she has got one roll on CR on these pair of gloves. She's also got two rolls on resistance. So this was a really good way for the rolls to have gone. I would have been really upset if the 3 rolls had gone, for example, to the attack percent, because I don't need that substat at all. I do like the 4th substat on there, the HP percent. I do think that's very helpful for making Gabriella a little bit tankier. 5th piece of gear, we see the resistance percent chest piece with really high CR in there, 2 rolls on crit rate, bringing it up to 18%. That's really good. I really like to see that HP percent substat. I like to see that CD substat. I don't really need that accuracy substat there. So maybe if it was something like the defense percent, that would have been perfect. But otherwise, also a really nice piece of gear for what it is. And the final piece is 6-star HP percent boots. Again, I could have gone with defense percent boots here, but what I do like about this piece of gear, it has some CR. It has a very high CD with 2 rolls on CD. The other 2 substats might as well not exist. So the flat attack and flat defense are absolutely terrible. But overall, it is quite a solid piece of gear for what it is, building both the CR and the CD. And this is actually probably the weakest piece of gear in Gabriella's build. The other pieces, I think, are very nice, especially if I look at the gloves and the weapon. I think those really shine. So I want to mention briefly where Gabriella fits into the way I gear heroes. And I haven't talked about this in a long time, but basically, the whole way that I gear heroes is based on this 6-type framework. And basically, these 6 types are different functions that heroes can play in a game. For example, a farmer is used in XP farming, rift farming. Gabriella is a resistor and an attacker. A resistor is a hero with a high amount of res that can resist debuffs. An attacker hero, in the way that I've defined it, is a hero that deals damage. And each of the different types have different stats that they need to focus on. For a resistor, it's res. For an attacker, it's CD and CR. So when I say that Gabriella is a resistor and attacker type, that means I'm focusing on her resistance, CD, and CR, which is exactly what I've been talking about for the last few minutes of the Gabriella build. And you might have noticed that I've organized my YouTube channel so that I now have the hero builds in different subcategories. And these are the exact same subcategories I've shown you in the diagram just now. And a hero can actually fall into more than one category. So obviously I haven't uploaded this video, but when I do, Gabriella is going to be in the res one and she is going to be in the attacker one, as I've just mentioned. But you can see, for example, out of the other attacker heroes, I have Shojin, I have Scorpius, I have Octavia. these don't just do damage, they do debuffs as well. So you're going to find them back in the debuffer section. This is the whole point of my 6-type system. The debuffers have the functionality of doing debuffs. The attackers have the functionality of doing direct damage. Most heroes in the game do several things at once. And if you can deconstruct this into some combination of the 6 types, I find for me, this gives the most flexibility and control over how I build my heroes. It gives me a real sense of conviction that I know what I'm doing with my heroes. I'm able to make conscious decisions of which directions I want to take each hero. It also helps me be aware of what would be all of the possibilities for the different hero types, or for putting each hero in the different hero types. So I'm going to take a break from posting my hero reviews every week, but I'm hoping that you can go in and see these playlists and explore how each hero can show up in more than one playlist, and hopefully that gives you a clue on which stats are going to be useful. You'll see that every hero in the same playlist will go through the same themes of having the same kinds of stats prioritized. That's the whole point of my 6-type system. So if we go back to Gabriella, so recap: Resistance, CR, and CD. You'll find her back in the Resistor and Attacker hero builds in my playlist section. Do think about those. I will make more videos on how I gear my heroes and make more detailed videos on the heroes. Gonna pause a little bit on the hero type videos, but you're still free to comment and let me know which heroes you might like to see. It really helps me if you can comment and like and share it with a friend. I really want to make my channel to a point where people can come and understand how I gear my heroes. I'm not here just kind of boasting and critiquing about what I've done, but I really want to make it a place where you can come and you can learn about how I think about my heroes, how I approach the game, and hopefully can help you gain clarity and direction on how you do your gear. So thank you so much for supporting me, and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.